This time on Woody's Garage we find a smelly old guitar case. Gross.
Well, yesterday driving in the rain, I saw this guitar case on the side of the road. And I thought, hey, maybe there's a guitar in it. No, there's no guitar in it. It's just a crappy old case. And I decided to grab it just to look at it. And halfway home I said I should just have left it. It is ripped open, as you can see. It was ripped open from there all the way down to here. These are cheap cases to begin with. Nobody in their right mind would do this. But one of the hinges is also loose, and the hinges are rusted. These guys are loose. I pulled two nails that were just sticking out of here. But what I really decided, instead of throwing it out, is I have what's called like a speedy awl, or this one's called a, let me put on my glasses. This one's from Harbor Freight. It's only like $5 or something, called a quick stitch sewing awl. And I've tried using this before, I think on maybe a motorcycle seat, trying to use it, but I was, too hasty and frustrated and didn't really figure out how to use it. But it seems to be working rather well. If you can see those black stitches that I've done. It took me a little while, but I'm starting to get the hang of it, and that's totally tight. It's totally sewing it back together. And I'm just about out of thread on this side, so I can show you how it started and stuff like that. I wasn't going to do a video on this because, like I said, I didn't even know how to use this thing. But it's pretty interesting. Here, let me set you up and you can kind of watch me do it, and then I'll show you how to set the thing up. Okay, we'll try that. I think you can see. So this thing has a thread that runs through it. It's kind of heavy-duty thread. And it comes up this awl. And what you do is, I'm kind of taking the old holes, but kind of not too, pacing myself. Just ram the thing through. Then on the other side, I'll show you in a second. Boy, I did have it down good. On the other side, you pull a needle through and then you pull it back a little bit, and you see that little loop it creates? You're in like this, it's tight, and then when you pull back you got a loop. Then you take another thread, which I'll show you how that was done. And the way I was taught wasn't to put anything on the end, but I put this needle on the end to make it easier to thread through that loop. You pull that, and then you pull the awl out. And that is a stitch right there. And you just keep going along like that till you run out of thread. So I'll show you how I set it up in just a moment. So I tied off the old one. You just tie a knot. I'll show you how to do that too. I've gone from here all the way down to here. And believe me, as I went on, I'm out of focus here. As I went on, it got faster and faster as I got the hang of it. And this is totally solid. This was stitched initially. It just goes through some old plastic. I don't know if it'll last forever or whatever. But I'll show you the awl and how you set it up. Okay, what this thing has is a spool of thread down here in the bottom, which feeds the project. It comes out of this hole right there, goes around this thing. Just push that in there. There's a bottom that goes on this, but you don't even need it. Then you push the thread. Can you see this? Sorry. This goes through that slit. Yeah, you need your glasses on to do this. Or you'll need them after you do it. And that comes through this little hole that's right there. Now there's a groove in the awl right there where the thread lies. Now the needle, try to stay in the camera, I'm sorry if I'm not. The needle, let me get the old thread out of it. The needle goes in here as you'd suspect, and there's a groove in it. And you line that groove up with the groove in the awl right here. And then you push it through the eye. Through the, oh, Jesus, we'll edit this. Pain in the butt. Work better in rehearsal. Okay. Okay, when I first picked this thing up, it was already threaded. So it was hell getting that thread through, and I switched to the gold thread that I had instead of the black stuff. And I switched to a needle that has a little bit of a bend of it, because when I go through the case, it would be nice that it's sticking up a little bit. So anyway, you follow a channel on the needle, and then it comes out through the eye there. And now you screw on the cap, which is right there. So the cap is on, the thread's through. You got to make sure that the thread still moves nice and easy, which it does. Then what you do, right now I got the spool of thread just in my pocket there. That way, oh shit, I just pulled the thread out of the needle. Okay, we rethreaded it. So everything's like ready to go. So basically, all you do is you come up and you push a hole through, which I'll show you in a sec. So we pushed a hole through. Now you grab that line and you pull like quite a bit of it out. Why do you pull all this out? Because this is what the line goes around to make the knot. You know what I mean? So you try to figure out how much you need. Being an amateur, I don't know how much I need, but this is probably enough for right now. Then you pull this back out. And you go back in. Hang on a second, I need two hands. You push in like that, and then when you pull back a little bit, it makes that loop like that. And that's what you put the thread through here. And now you can see why I tied a needle to that other one, because it's easier to go through the loop like this. So you go through the loop, and then you pull it back. And basically that's how you make your stitches. You pull both ends to make it tight, and then you go on to another one. So that's about it. Well, it was getting unruly, so I put it on the little spool, just cut it off the big one. I couldn't like leave it in my pocket like that. Now the line's gotten all slack, and you can see it's going around the needle, which is not right. It should go right up that channel and out. So I gotta fix that too. This needle doesn't seem to be as tight in the base as the other one. We got a little more under control. It's amazing how well this was working before I decided to do a video on it. But let me do some stitches. You can see how far along I went with this golden thread. Well, there's a few ugly stitches. They don't look as good as the black ones I did, of course. We're at a point now where it's the most wiggly, where things are the least lined up. This plastic that is used as a binder is also kind of shrunk. But, you know, it'll be ugly, but that's going to hold. Another thing I got to deal with, I'm kind of taking a break from it. But I mean, that was really only like 5 minutes worth of work. Yeah, the other thing is this hinge. All the other hinges look okay. This one's frozen. It has like, you know, like pop rivets, which I may actually use again, but these are pulled through the cardboard. So I'm going to drill these out and probably, like I said, try pop rivets maybe. This is what's on the other side. So I think if I just crimp these up straight, I can pull them out, kind of like brads or something. Yeah, I cut the old cardboard away, but like, still, my eyes aren't that good anymore. I can't really tell what's going on there. I'm just going to take the Dremel and cut the sons of bitches off. Right at the camera. Yeah, that one kind of crumbled out. So we got one out. Yeah, we got that one. So now we got to figure a way to attach it. And this is where it was. There's probably a couple of holes that come through here. There needs to be some kind of backing, backing plate for it to go through. Nothing much, but just something. So we'll do that. I mean, it'll help to keep everything from flopping around so much when you're trying to push the awl through. Okay, I found this Naugahyde, silvery, kind of Gary Glitter type outfit. We'll use this, we'll put it up here, and we'll see if the pop rivets fit through this. And looks like I'm going to have to drill those out a little bit. Or I could use screws, but I'd rather use pop rivets from the inside out, I think. So here's the idea, the pop rivet. I should probably put a washer there too, huh? On both sides. Nah, I'm gonna go without. So yeah, this is about the most awkward thing I've ever worked on. I'm going to hold it from the other side. There's one. Birdie. Not that great. Maybe I'll drill another hole for another rivet, but for right now, I mean, it closes. It's not all wobbly all over the place, so that's good. We'll be back to awling, I guess. Yeah, occasionally you end up like this. This whole side's almost done, but like when this happens, you just pull all the strings out and you kind of start over. I can't figure out why this happens. I think you go through the wrong loop. Like when you push this through, there's a loop on both sides. I don't know. Okay, I figured out what does that snafu there. Okay, the string comes up in the groove side here. Keep it kind of pointed in the direction of your work. You want to loop the other string through the back side, not the front side. The front side, it pulls it back through. I'll try to show you what I mean. Okay, it's pushed through like this. Now when you pull it back a little bit, you see the loop on the left is the back side, not the groove side is the front. So a couple of times I've gone the loop through the front side and that screws you up. It's always got to be the back side, which is this side right here. And then it will work. Okay, you can kind of see that string's going through the loop here on the back side, not the groove side. You pull it out and it makes the knot. Then to tie it off, you yoink some more out of here. I use the word yoink too much, I know. And then you tie them off in a knot and just cut off the excess. And this whole side is done and ugly, but it's done. Well, it looks like absolute hell. But this side is not going anywhere. It's totally stiff. It wasn't probably the ideal situation for using a sewing awl, machine did it. I'm still going to do this side. I think over here is a little loose. And next I'm going to put in these blocks. The blocks seem to have a variety of nails and staples. And we may end up using screws because they'll actually be easier to do. First we got to get these out. That's kind of what they look like. Imagine how they wing these things together in a factory. I'd love to see how they're made. You know, the stitching and stuff like that. What kind of machine is that? Answer a big sewing machine, I guess. Alright, all the nails are out. I'm going to get the nails out of the blocks, and then I think we're going to look for some screws. Yeah, use these little screws. They're totally tight. This thing is like rigid now. I just got to check out this section here. Yeah, I could use a little stitcheroo. Probably make it worse, right? And yeah, that should kind of do it. This side's going to be a pain because the top of the case is kind of in the way. Okay, my last set of stitches. I guess I could have gone a little bit longer, but that's okay. It's totally solid. Nothing's gonna happen. One thing I learned when this isn't it, I put the thing away. But when you initially push it through and you have that string that you want to use to loop through, I never quite understood how long that should be. Now I know. If I'm going from here to here, pretty much that's how long it should be. Maybe, you know, a little bit longer. Add a couple of inches onto that because it's basically just a straight line. I didn't know if that got pulled through or what the deal was. This time it got a little easier as I went along, but I'm certainly still no expert. But yeah, now we're gonna clean this thing up a little bit, wipe it down at least. Well, it ain't pretty, but it works. You know, you just want to put a guitar in the closet or wherever. I don't think I'd go on tour with it. But yeah, all the latches work. The hinges work. It works inside. I wiped it out. Yeah, the Teisco fits, but it's like it's going to need foam or something. Get up about this high. You know? Otherwise it's for an acoustic, really. But this is a guitar I don't have a case for, so it's okay.